Welcome to the acclaimed podcast, The Deep Dive, featuring your esteemed hosts, Andy Monitor and Drew Dinzik, powered by BetSperts.
Welcome to The Deep Dive. We kick off early, 1 week away from the Hall of Fame football preseason kickoff. Our early kickoff today is unrelated to football. It's related to golf, but we cannot waste time. We cannot mince words. We have a very difficult task on our hands, Andy. We need to come up with a fair rating for the San Francisco 49ers.
It's tough.
You know who was unable to do this all year last year? The market. This is a team that was and me. Yeah, of course, me. I definitely had some San Francisco bets in my account last year that were like, really? You thought they were going to do that? Really? Okay. And anyway, I might have the same thing going on this year. We'll get there.
Oh, they had. I mean, right off the bat, the only thing that stuck out from last year, besides the obviously, very disappointing record, was I'm at like a 7th grade volleyball game and I'm getting alerts like, oh, guess what? Christian McCaffrey wasn't healthy. He's not going to play week 1. He's out. And just very, very 23rd hour kind of shit on that. I know fantasy community was losing their mind. And that was the reason I was getting alerts, was I had him on a fantasy team. I'm like, well, this is dumb. This is why I hate this stupid fantasy football. That strung itself out a lot longer than we thought. We had wide receivers injured for various reasons. We had, how many games did Purdy miss?
Purdy missed.
I have
2.
I have my snap count here. Yeah, just the 2. He was less effective, which is a thing that happens to the best of us. When his offense wasn't whole, he still got paid. We move on. I think the headline of the offseason was we lost a bunch of defensive players with big names. We're going to try to figure stuff out. We've probably got a much better defensive coordinator in town, running it back on offense. We just need to get a little healthier first, because the Ayuk injury was week 7. He's clearly not ready. Ricky Purcell probably going to be fine, but I'm not always believing what Shanahan's a fucking liar. I mean, sure. They all are, but he's especially a liar. He's like, it's fine. It's like, no, this guy strained a hamstring already. Like, this is not making me excited for this team, especially when they're kind of thin at wide receiver. And then I think, what's the status on Barch, the guard?
He is also not playing for now, which is big because he matters. I ultimately don't know if that's something to be. I don't know what injuries to be concerned about. And
that's the thing. It's not even August. Yes, it was a quad injury. They got like weightlifting or working out. Soft tissue injuries can linger. I don't know, but that kind of screws up a little bit of the dynamic of keeping some continuity through camp and preseason if he misses some time. So already some injuries piling up for this team, and Mustafa as well. There's so many mitigating circumstances around this team. Like we said this right off the bat when we were off the air, very hard team to rate. And you said it perfectly. You said, I have very low convictions in my rating. Yeah, this is one where I still got my finger on the chess piece. It's like, I got to look. Maybe I take this one back.
Yeah.
There's so much of that in these ratings.
Yesterday I said our best. Yeah, we're going to do our best. Yesterday, I said I had a high confidence that my rating in November, December for the Rams was going to be higher than it is now. I have medium confidence that my rating for the Niners is going to be different on week 1 kickoff than it is right now. Because, again, I kind of don't really know what to expect about, player availability here. Other than I'm not expecting for sure Brandon Ayuk to be available until Halloween.
Week 6 or 8 is kind of where they said we can't even put a concrete timetable on him yet.
Yeah,
which makes me think, well, it's not going to be this 4-week pup thing.
We're assuming Jennings is going to be on this team, right? That's for sure, right? Right.
Juwan Jennings is he's healthy. Again, we live in the land of liars here in the Bay, but they've said he doesn't want out right now. He
Okay.
wants to be here. That's the company line that we're getting. I mean, your wide receiver one, if you have that wide receiver diva, mentality, go out there and be like, this is my chance to be wide receiver one. I still have CMC and Kittle taking some pressure on me. I can go put some big numbers up first 5-6 weeks, and baby, suddenly I'm a name now. Because I think he's fine. He's a good player.
I think he's a name already. I think he's
a very good player.
Very good.
No, but I'm saying elevate yourself. This is your chance to elevate yourself into the big boy leagues.
Yeah. Win some fantasy managers their key week 5 matchup. And then you really got some juice. I think he actually probably won some fantasy managers matchups last year. Like he had a couple of weeks where he was like 200 yards, 2-3 touchdowns, didn't he? He had some boom weeks.
He has spike weeks for sure.
Anyway, one of the key reasons that it's been very difficult for me, at least, to get my hands wrapped around this Niners team is because a lot of the players who informed our ratings the last couple of years, who are future Hall of Famers, are still around. And they are still not obviously to the eye test past their prime. I'm talking about Trent Williams. I'm talking about Fred Warner. I'm talking about Nick Bosa. Like, I think these guys are future Hall of Famers and will Christian McCaffrey even is probably a future Hall of Famer. Offensive Player of the Year, hugely important for that, Super Bowl, runner up 2 years ago. These guys are not just elite now, but like all time, and they're still here. The problem is everything around them looks a little bit more rickety, a little bit less certain. A lot more development needs to go on. And, when you kind of poked around, around the edges and you were getting like really leading up to the draft is really kind of when this was mostly being passed around circles. The Niners themselves weren't really looking at this as a bounce back year, but more of as a rebuild year, right? They're looking at their own team. They're like, yeah, we're kind of fucked. Like, we just don't have enough horses. We're going to need to really crush it in this draft and develop for a year. And then 2027, hopefully our Hall of Famers still have one more year left to make a title push. Like, that was the spirit you were getting when you talked to, I say 2027, I mean the 26 into 27 Super Bowl. That was like the spirit you get when you talk to insiders, people connected to the team, like words from, the liar's mouth himself. Like, there was not enthusiasm about this being a bounce back season. There was a little bit of, we're going to take our medicine. We got to pay Brock. Like, there's, that was sort of the spirit. And when you hear that stuff in March and April, you just kind of get a mental note, like, okay, just hands off, like, let it play out. Like, don't do something stupid and go bet this team to win the Super Bowl just because they have the easiest schedule in football.
And that's the real mitigating factors. The schedule is incredibly, depending where you look. I haven't seen anybody rank it out of the three. The third easiest was the lowest I think I saw in someone's ranking.
And that's incorrect.
That's the
number one.
It's probably just number one.
It's the number one.
And as you mentioned too, like, they know Trent Williams isn't playing 5 more years.
No,
Trent Williams might not be playing 2 more years. Like, it might be now and maybe next year. Or if you have your quarterback, you have your left guard, you have your pass rusher, and I think it's one of those where if that truly is the mantra this year, the Salah hire is great because you have a bunch of turnover, you have a bunch of weakness, you have a bunch of depth all over this defense, and you have a bunch of rookies who are asked to contribute. At least 2 are starting, at least 2 are very much rotational at linebacker and defensive front. You have another one and probably going to play some in your secondary. You have 4 to 5 rookies that are going to make meaningful parts of this defense. And then, there's a lot of question marks at depth, especially in secondary and your defensive tackle spot. And I think it's going to be one of these where we might look at this defense week 1 and 2 and be like, I have to downgrade this because they're not playing well. And it it's a slow build because of what it takes to get this to a level that Salah's happy at. And you have a guy like Nick Bosa. You have a top 5 defensive end. You have a top 1 coverage linebacker / top 5 all around linebacker, and you have some players in your secondary. I know Ward that's a big hurt. You're gonna miss him, but it's not a defense that's devoid of talent. There's just so many question marks at youth and depth, and I think Salah's gonna be fine, but it's just gonna be a bit of a process. And then kind of the same thing at offense, and that's basically because of the injuries. Like we said, Ayuk is probably 6 weeks out minimum. You've got some banged up offensive linemen. You've got the Demarcus Robinson, who's probably going to be asked to be, he'd be starting because Ayuk's gone, but they haven't even announced his suspension yet. Everyone just assumes it's 3 games, I think. Maybe someone has a solid.
What did he do again?
It was a bad DUI.
Bad DUI.
Okay. There's the good DUI. Officer, I was just playing. Oh, they'll just give you the minimum DUI. Like it was a rough one. So he will probably face a couple game suspension.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you got Cowing, who's young, 2nd-year guy. You got Jordan Watkins back there as a a depth guy. Another one that's like, hey, you're gonna have to play because we're thin right now, and you're a 4th-round rookie. So we'll find out a little bit about some of these guys, especially Jennings being forced into a very much you're the guy role now with I won't call him Fat Debo because that's hurt Sam's feelings, and he looks thinner now. He's some guys maintain their weight all year round. It's just the metabolism, how their body works. Some guys get fat as shit in the off season, and Debo is of the latter. He looks like he's in game shape now.
Yeah.
He's always been a thick dude, so Debo's
fine.
He
most of his power came from his undercarriage.
Yep.
And all of his power derived from the undercarriage. All right. The general, I guess, spirit. Let's remind ourselves what happened in 2024. This was a team that was an absolutely as chronicled, an injury-riddled mess. I know they got 15 games out of their starting quarterback, which a lot of teams did not. But the injuries to meaningful, to key players, particularly on the offensive side of the ball, were pretty notable. They had a little bit of a rotating running back situation with only getting 4 games out of McCaffrey, only getting 12 games out of Jordan Mason. But Isaac Guerrero stepped up, and that's a nice step now for you if McCaffrey's ready to go. I thought that, again, like when a player like Ayuk goes down or he was limited coming out of the gate because he didn't get the reps he needed in camp, and Jennings steps up the way he did, like that's gift. And yet it didn't matter. You're still losing games that you shouldn't be losing early in the season. There was still market support for these guys forever. It really never, the floor never came out in their market rating until, I don't know, maybe like week 10-ish. They started, week 11. That must have been the week that Purdy was gone, because they were 5.5-point dogs at Green Bay week 11. They didn't even sniff a cover. They lose 38-10. 6-point dogs at Buffalo the next week. Didn't sniff a cover, 35-10. Purdy must have been back week 13 then, and they were favored against Chicago, win and cover, but then lose 4 against the spread down the stretch. They only covered 5 games last year, Andy. They did not cover 12 games. 5-12 is an appallingly poor against the spread record. You would agree?
I will agree with that. I can agree.
Would you guess that was worst in the NFL?
The way you posed that question, it makes me think there was somebody that took the cake.
The Tennessee Titans were 2-15 against the spread. How is that possible?
Somebody liked them every week, I guess.
Can you imagine? They did, like, how did they not cover? Like, I remember them how they didn't cover against the Bears, but how did they not cover the other 14
Yeah, didn't I bet them week 1?
I definitely did. Oh yeah, very much so. Very much so. Like, wait, Caleb Williams is a 6-point favorite in his first start. What the hell? Are you kidding me? It's the easiest money of the year.
Pain.
Not good. Not good. But also not good was the performance against the spread of this Niners team. In general, they were about 5 to 6 point favorites against the spread on a neutral by market for the balance of the season, and it just never ever came together to equal the sum of the parts. And I get why the market would be anchored that way. Let us not forget that we are a year and 6 months removed from this Niners team with a lot of these same pieces being 6.5 point favorites against the Baltimore Ravens on Christmas. Like, that was the market close then, which was telling you at that time, this team is rare good. And of course they lost that game and you have to downgrade them, I suppose. But like, ultimately, like that, the market grew to fundamentally respect this team in a way that we haven't seen in a long time. And I honestly think it's going to take a little while for, really it's like the ratings back, honestly. The fact that they're favored to win the NFC West, like, people are back in. Like, it took nothing to get people to re-believe that this team is a Super Bowl contender. They're your third, fourth choice to win the NFC right now. Let me give you the exact answer there. They are behind the Lions, behind the Eagles. They are they're tied with the Rams, ahead of the Commanders. So they are tied for your third choice in the NFC right now, despite the fact that they were 6-11 last year and they only got meaningfully better through the draft and lost more pieces in free agency. So I think the respect for these guys is still very much here, despite the fact that they were 6-11. And, it wasn't even like their Pythag said they should have been that much better. They were, 7.4 expected wins. That's only, 1.5 off. And granted, a lot of the Pythag is tilted based on those two really, really bad losses where you didn't have Purdy, but still.
Well, Green Bay and
the Green Bay Buffalo losses were
Buffalo. Yeah, 2 in a row where they got beat, whatever to 10. Preseason rating for me last year was a 6, basically. They were my second best team.
I was just going to ask you this.
So
we are exactly
barely ahead of Baltimore, Philly, Detroit. So Kansas City was number 1 to start.
Yep.
San Francisco number 2, and then Baltimore, Philly, Detroit, just a C hair behind. San Francisco, Detroit, the lowest of the 3. Houston, Buffalo, Green Bay, and then then it gets into the messy part where it was like the Jets, Miami, Dallas, Cincy. You had to give them high ratings. Those didn't end well. My low for San Francisco in the season, they got down to a neutral at 1 week for me.
Wow.
Basically ended the season around 1.5, 2 points better than a neutral.
Oh, I'm excited to find out if you're different than that now, because that's pretty close to where I'm at now for these guys.
Not far. It's a long drop from last preseason. I'll tell you.
What did you think of their offseason?
Uneven.
Did it have that? Did the spirit that I was kind of laying out, the picture I'm painting, did that check out to you independently?
The losses felt big. Greenlaw, Hafunga, Ward. That felt like a lot. You lose 2 important pieces in your secondary. You lose, important linebacker next to Warner. It didn't feel like you did enough to fix some of the problems that you saw when you were thin and injured. Like you said, you had some exciting. Maybe this offsets it more. You had some exciting bonuses last year, like Garendo being as good as he was, Jennings stepping up as much as he did. Colton McKivitz, kind of a good tackle. It gets downplayed because the other one is the best to ever do it, but you kind of got a pretty good play out of him. And who's the rookie guard, Pooney. Some decent run blocking numbers from some of the offensive linemen that we weren't expecting a ton out of. So some of the bonuses maybe offset that, but yeah, the signings were not all that exciting. You paid a lot for a second tight end in Luke Farrell. We talked about him a bunch in the Discord. He didn't have a lot of big receiving numbers, but they just didn't use him that way. We'll kind of see how they decide to use him. Very good blocker. Like, honestly, Kittle, as much as we love him as a receiver, also a very good blocker. Like, you have a pretty good battery of blocking tight ends. And if you have two good tackles and two good tight ends and Christian McCaffrey's healthy and you decide that you're going to go a little more on the ground, like, maybe it isn't such a big deal that all these wide receivers are hurt and suspended, but I don't know. Who's your favorite offseason signing? Because
I think it was probably Huff. What do you think?
Huff's good. So Huff is nice as far as
because like he had virtually no wear on the tires last year.
Yeah, trading for Huff. He had 10 sacks 2 years ago. It's weird because the Eagles can make your stats look weird based on how much they use you in that part of the field, and the Eagles are covering. The Eagles are covering a bunch of his salary, which is kind of nice. So that's nice. Farrell's nice. Other than that, I'm not super excited about anything. Trey Brown got benched last year. You bring in Trey Brown from Seattle as a corner to help replace, Ward. He's probably your number 3 corner, and I mean he's somebody that McDonald benched. He got injured last year. Jason Pinnock is hopefully a backup safety. He's depth, maybe a guy you put out there when you're running 3 safeties. Richie Grant, kind of the same thing. He's maybe more of a special teamer. You drafted a lot of defense as well. I think the draft is more exciting than the
no question
trade and free agency
by a lot. Yeah,
by a lot. So Michael Williams, you ended up with a shitty season. It's been a while. You haven't had a draft pick this high in a while. You got a fun, super high upside edge piece in Michael Williams from Georgia. You pair him with Bosa, that makes life a lot easier.
He looks more like a run stopping difference maker to me.
The take is he can be a good edge rusher.
Okay.
He lacks polish. And
okay.
He was in college. He was an elite run defender. Like, yes, he's going to be great for the run stop. You have Huff there that can also work into that spot. Or if you want to, put Huff and you can bump him inside, put Huff on the outside, and on passing downs. You also drafted your next pick was a defensive tackle, which is a spot that's weak based on some of the pieces you miss. Alfred Collins from Texas, just a huge friggin' dude. He's probably starting because of Hargrave being gone. You drafted a linebacker in the 3rd round, Nick Martin from Okie State, fast but small. I don't think he's a reasonable Greenlaw replacement. It looks like D Winters is kind of your other linebacker anyway. And then, a bunch of other guys that probably are depth or special teams, but there are some people that like the CJ West from Indiana as a pass rusher from the inside. He was, they use the word disruptive a lot about people like that. He had 52 stops behind the line of scrimmage since 2021, which is pretty good, especially for a team like Indiana. Jordan Watkins is the other one I want to mention, the receiver from Ole Miss, fast guy. There's, a lot of uncertainty in the wide receiver room. So he'll probably be, he'll make the team. He'll play special teams, but he might be asked to play a little bit right here, right now, because they need some help in the receiver room. So good draft, I guess, all things considered.
Well, they had a lot more capital than they're used to.
Yeah, you had a lot of picks and you had a lot of needs, and I think you did a decent job of finding some guys in the spots you needed.
I'll say this. The spirit of the offseason felt like they're prioritized 2 things. We need to get a Purdy deal done, and we need to fix the run defense. And if you want to put a third, we need to improve our defensive coordinator situation, and bringing in Saleh was a big deal. And if you're telling me like that they did a good job of self-evaluation and prioritizing things correctly, sure. Their run defense was atrocious. It needed to be fixed. Their defensive coordinator situation with the revolving door they had there, and nobody never really being satisfied since Saleh left, presumably that is fixed. And the Purdy deal that they did,
It's fine.
It's pretty team friendly.
It's fine. Yeah.
I thought it was pretty team
People
friendly.
were so worried that they were just going to blow their nut on that. And it's like, no, this is a fine. He played well enough. He earned this. Give him his money and figure it out from there. Birdie brings up a good point. I didn't mention Jalen Moore, who had to fill in at times. Yeah, it doesn't help your offensive line depth either.
True. But, if something happens to Trent Williams, then, it's over anyway. So, everybody else around Trent Williams played really well last year, I thought. You said it. I think their offensive line was not really something that drastically needed to be addressed other than depth. And you mentioned a couple of players that I've seen write-ups about, like D. Winters being one of them. He was a 6th-round pick in 2023. You're not expecting much from him, but Fred Warner wouldn't shut up about how excited he is with the growth he's taken in the offseason. So if Fred Warner's saying that, I guess I'll listen. The reality is if your first unit stays reasonably healthy, that
if nothing goes wrong,
if your first unit is reasonably healthy, you are a plus team. Period. You're a plus team.
If we build this house of cards outside and the wind doesn't blow, things are gonna go well.
I'm saying reasonably healthy. Like if 80% of these guys are just generally available this year, then you're a plus team. If 100% of your guys are available, then you're like maybe, I don't know, ceiling is probably plus 4-ish. It's nowhere. It's not 6. I don't think we're sniffing 6 this year with these guys. At least I'd be surprised. But it's definitely kind of 3 or 4 is sort of your upside. If there's injuries again, if the important players get injured, then you're dropping below the Mendoza line pretty quickly. I feel like because the second unit is just awash with inexperience. And Shanahan and company have shown an ability to develop, but it hasn't been fast. They're not the type of team that plug and play. In general, players shine. It did happen with running back and wide receiver last year, as you mentioned, but that's sort of the exception, not the rule with the Shanahan system. I think ultimately this is a big question of health, and if the schedule was not as easy as it is, then I think we would be looking at the market prices for these teams and being like, is this the easiest fade on the board?
Yeah, it's funny. And also just injury wise, the Andre Dillard thing bothers me. Now I can't get that out of my head because you don't have Jalen Moore there to back up, and you have Andre Dillard, who I don't know what the injury is. This is what bothers me about preseason, when they're allowed to put people on the pup and just say nothing. Because he doesn't have some lingering knee or his injury last year was a concussion. So if he's on the pup for concussion symptoms from like 8 months ago,
he's not playing. Yeah.
Like he should be retired. Like somebody needs to check on this guy's safety. So it's clearly something else, and they're not saying what. So all of a sudden it's like, who? Sebastian Gutierrez is, I don't know, is that your next option up? Or I don't know if Spencer can bump outside Spencer Burford. I don't know who the option right now at left tackle is.
I think it probably is Spencer Burford. That'd be my guess, and that doesn't feel great. All right, well, let's
stay healthy.
Stay healthy. Let's look at their schedule. Was that good?
Yeah, like we mentioned, a lot of blue.
Favored in every game except for 2, and in those 2 games, you're 1.5 point dogs.
Late bye. No international game. One double. I don't know if it's Houston and Giants is a stay east game. It could be. They tend to, like, as an organization, I think they value that week on the road as like some sort of team building. Honestly, it's a grind. Every job is a grind. Imagine, just getting to do your job from somewhere else for a week. Like sometimes that's just nice for the mind. And I think they might be a team that just values doing that. So I wonder if that Houston Giants spot weeks 8 and 9, that's road, if they stay east. But yeah, they have 5 early games where they play east. Other than that, they have a nice rest advantage. They have more rest advantage than they have rest disadvantage. Their bye week is against Tennessee. Or excuse me, they're coming off the bye week is against Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Previous to the bye is at Cleveland. So really nice stretch there. Even if Carolina's better, Carolina, Cleveland, bye Tennessee. It's a nice, hey, let's get healthy, win some games, go into this final stretch, which isn't that hard either. It's going to be Indy, Chicago, Seattle. There's 3 teams that I'm very not convinced of. Even with Chicago and all the nice things we say every offseason about them, very big question marks surrounding them. That one's in the Bay on Sunday Night Football. As much as we want to fade this team, if they don't get injured, it's just going to be in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, for sure. This isn't just an easy schedule. It's not just the easiest in football this year. This is one of the easiest I've ever crunched the numbers on.
What is the toughest game non-division?
At Tampa Bay.
It's Tampa Bay. So going
what
to
is Tampa? What is Tampa? Your top is Tampa a top 8 team for you?
I'd have to look.
They got to be pretty close.
I mean,
for me, that is
they're somewhere in the 7 to 10 range.
For me, they are 8th. That is the toughest team you play. Is the 8th best team in the NFL? That's crazy. That's crazy.
Even the other teams. Look at the chances of anyone else in the schedule having big upside. Who's the biggest upside team? It's probably the Rams.
Probably the Rams, yeah.
Rams or Seattle, which is, if that's true, it sucks because you play them twice. But New Orleans, Cleveland, Tennessee, Indy. I'm not seeing some surprise like, oh my God, the Colts are really good this year.
Yeah,
it's really hard to buy that. Maybe Atlanta. If we get unknown quarterback there and he plays well, they have a lot of skill position players. But
here's the crazy thing, Andy. Are you ready for this? You avoid the top 7 teams in the NFL, and you play the 7 worst. All of this is outside of your division, right? Like, that's fucking crazy. How did that work? How did that happen? Like, this is a gift, an absolute hand-wrapped gift of a schedule. And if they hadn't gotten 4th place last year, it wouldn't be this favorable at all. There's, the fact that they do get the 4th place crossovers is helpful,
that's the thing. You're playing
helpful.
Chicago. You're playing
playing Giants.
Atlanta.
Yes, Giants and Chicago are kind of 2 obvious ones, right? Like if that was the difference between that and what the Rams have with Philly and Detroit, what's the delta there?
Yeah, a lot.
1.9 wins. Like, it's big. It's a big difference.
And then, I mean, just these things.
I know I'm being facetious saying 1.
No, but still,
it's a win. It's 1 win.
The other part is rotational, where you just happen to be playing the NFC South and the AFC South as well,
which are the 2 weekest divisions.
So you get the 2 weakest divisions. You get the 4th place schedule, and a lot of the road games aren't very bad. It's the Rams Tampa. Rams Tampa is a tough part. And even in that, you get extra rest to head to Tampa.
And oh, by the way, if you were going to cross over to the AFC and snipe one team to be matched with, you know who you would pick? Fucking Cleveland. Like, it is literally the perfect.
And that's only because you have Tennessee on the schedule already.
I'm going to go even further. I don't think you could possibly construct a schedule the way they are. It's formulaic. I don't think you could put together a list of opponents that's weaker. I don't think it's
tinfoil on.
No, this shit happens.
It's just how it happens.
This shit happens. Yeah. Like, I'm sure it has happened recently with another team to being like, how in the world is it possible you're playing all these difficult teams? Like, you don't have air at all. That's kind of like the Lions schedule this year, actually.
I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I'm tempted to look at like awards when it comes to this team, because it might be unjustified.
Yeah.
But if things escalate quickly on the defensive side of the ball and the offense is fine, like, someone's winning a damn award when this team wins 13 games and then loses to then the Eagles beat them by 25 in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know who. It's going to be something stupid that you can't bet on, like
Brocktober.
Well, no, it'll be something stupid like Salah Actually, you can bet on a system of the year now.
Really?
I thought I seen somebody betting. I don't say this with 100% conviction. I thought I seen a.
Well, let's think about what the awards are, and we'll circle back later.
Sam says Bosa. I can't dissuade you.
Yeah, I will point out, like you mentioned, they gave him a couple of tough travel spots, but the opponents in those travel spots are not like you're going to lose those games. It's just like you're not going to cover the 10-point spread once we get there. Like that's kind of the way it is. Like I also think that just in general, the fact that the NFL felt compelled to put them in primetime and / standalone games as often as they did late in the season, even though the opponents are weak, I think is telling you something about them expecting that the Niners are at least going to be the draw there.
If it's funny too. Yeah, looking at this, if Bosa is healthy, what's his DPOI number after playing Atlanta, Houston Giants?
Yeah, that's a good ass run.
Those are some offensive lines / quarterbacks that.
Yeah,
it's like, oh shit, Bosa
what's
had
his
8 sacks in 3 games
heading into the bye after playing Carolina, Cleveland, Tennessee next. Cam Ward behind that. Oh man,
if he stays healthy, he's just going to be.
He's
going to be one of the 2 or 3 names at the top of DPOI all year.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If he stays on the field,
I agree with that. All right.
Maybe
rest schedule is pretty favorable. Sequencing, particularly at the end of the season, is very favorable. Andy, they have 4 of their last 5 weeks. They will be in the Bay. Granted, one of those is a bye, but they are effectively done traveling on November 30th. And if they win this, 10.5 implied wins, if that is realized, 11, 12 wins, they're going to have home playoff games. And I think realistically, the last point worth mentioning here, Andy, Super Bowl's in San Francisco this year.
Uh-oh.
There's a very real world where this schedule combined with a little bit of health means that they're just home from Christmas until we decide things.
Yeah, you're like you're a little bit of a defensive downturn from the Eagles and
or just everybody else just beats each other up.
Well, yeah, just you don't have to beat everybody, especially if you win your division. You have I hate to say this because I don't have a high rating on this team. This team is rated
not at all.
This is not a top 10 team, but this team has a shot at the number 1 seed. Because
question.
All the tough teams have tough divisions. Like the Lions are going to beat up they have a tough division to play and a tough schedule. Yeah. The Eagles have an extremely tough division and a tough schedule. The Washington, the Eagles, they have obviously the same problems. The South exists, and I get that, but I doubt the 1 seed's coming from the South. Like the Niners have a couple coin flips go their way. This is a 14-win team that we still has rated as like a +3.
Yeah. Well, this is what we can't segue to this next, but that was the perfect opening segue.
And they're home. Yeah, they're home hosting the Eagles in the NFC title game as a pick.
Yeah.
It's like that's fair.
And honestly, like this is the other crazy thing. If they get the bye, that's another tough NFC team they're not going to have to play.
Yeah, another team disappears.
Another team. Yeah. Three. Guess what? You have the bye. 3 really difficult teams are going to lose. Really tough teams are going home before you even have to play a playoff game. Like this is crazy. Crazy.
Looking at this schedule this week too is the basically the only thing that cooled me from my Rams stuff.
Yeah, of course.
And I still love my Rams, but
same.
Let's get into the position. Right. Well, we got to talk Circa because
I don't even know when to use them.
Any week is fine. Good. If you're doing the Circa Survivor contest, I'm getting pretty pumped for that because I'm about 2.5 weeks from heading out there. 2 weeks from Wednesday, I'll be out there, and If you want to use them in Circa Survivor,
I think they are a save for late.
You can save it because you have
agree?
those 3. Yeah, you have those 3 weeks around the bye where you could use them. There's a chip chair and a chance that Indy is just so bad, and their quarterback situation's unsettled that could be a 5-point game. There's a decent chance Chicago's moves and the Ben Johnson stuff falls on its face, and that's another one where they could be a 6-point favorite at home against the Bears.
There is a world where week 16 we are seeing what we have with Riley Leonard and Indy.
Yeah. No, and this is what we're saying, Birdie. Like, this could be a number 1 seed that is a +3.
Yes.
In our ratings. Like a +3 is not bad, but it's not good.
No.
Last year
that would be one of the worst teams to make the Super Bowl that I've seen come through rating wise.
Yeah, I think we said the bottom teams that were in the playoffs were like what, a +1.5, +2.
Sure. Yeah.
And then your really good teams are going to be
6.5. Yeah.
6 to 7 if you want to get that high. I want to look at what I had for my, I guess
I think at full strength 7 is probably as high as I would ever really bang the table for.
Yeah, I had Baltimore as a 6.4, Detroit 6.4, Philly just they were 6.25. There's some 6s and stuff. So I'm saying like half of that.
Yeah.
And
crazy.
But they're still having home games. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. So my sincere advice for Survivor is save them as long as you possibly can. Hope the rest of the players waste them in weeks 2, 3, and 4. And hope that you are the last team with them available week 15, 16, or 17, I think.
Yeah.
That's kind of my read. And realistically, like, it's going to be tough not to use them week 15 if you're alive at that time. But you're going to have to look at the pool. You're going to have to look at who else has them left. And you're going to have to make some strategic decisions late. Because this is probably the Niners, and when you use them, is going to have a fundamental impact on who wins Circa Survivor this year, I think. Or it'll be whoever runs good. Andy, if this team is the 1 seed in the NFC, and if they are starting with a market rating that we think is already a bit too high, isn't the obvious play to take Super Bowl Niners at Kalshi now and sell it before they play their divisional playoff game and lose to Commanders?
Yeah.
Dan Quinn goes and gets his revenge against Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, just like Eagles, Lions, Commanders, Rams, Vikings.
I'm trying to imagine.
I'm thinking of like teams that could go into San Francisco and just win by 10.
Like we're doing this exercise, I feel like, to mentally steel ourselves not to get red pilled here. We're not going to drink the Kool-Aid. We're not going to drink the Kool-Aid. This is a flawed roster. It is a fragile roster. Kyle Shanahan has a little bit to prove.
He's a diaper pooper. He's a diaper pooper.
Diaper pooper. Yes.
So I'm quick time out here.
Okay. Okay.
The reasoning we're doing this early is because last year I was on vacation for the county fair. Kids didn't get to go there. They love going to the fair, going on rides all day. Promised to go this year.
That'll be super fun.
This afternoon.
I'm jealous. I gotta work after this.
Midway opens at noon. Getting him the unlimited ride wristband. I'm just gonna have some beers, go watch curling. We're gonna do rides all day. So he's here, and boy, when I said diaper pooper, peripheral, you just see a head turn. Like, diaper pooper. This is what happens when I try to explain what my job is to the family.
Who's pooping their diaper?
He said diaper pooper, but he is a diaper pooper. And anyway, this is a flawed route. Let's get into ratings. Also, breaking news: Hulk Hogan dead at 71.
Ooh, they come in threes.
Honestly, good for him. As many steroids and shit as he did, and how he lived.
Yeah, his heart.
He made it a long time. He made it a long time.
Would you say 71?
71.
Him and Ozzy. Who was the third? There was a third one this week too, right?
No,
not yet. There was. I'm spacing though.
Someone will think of it.
Fuck. R.I.P. Hulk. Hogan.
The Hulkster.
Destroyed Gawker, which I used to
Oh,
really like Gawker.
Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Yes, thank you, Theo. Thank you,
oh
Birdie.
man, the Huxtables.
Yeah, brutal. The 80s really took it in the pants this week. Took it in the shorts.
Yes.
Yikes.
I don't want to get into my Cosby takes.
Theo was the star of the show.
I thought about that. I'm like, man, I said this out loud in my head. We're getting a little off topic. We'll quickly draw this in, but I said this in my head. I'm like, man, it sucks that Cosby was such a creeper because like that was a really good show and his comedic timing was electric. And I'm like, yeah, that's like probably not number one of the reasons that I wish he wasn't a creeper. I also wish he wouldn't have.
It ruined my enjoyment of some 80s content. That's really the biggest problem.
Not a close, it's not a close second to probably shouldn't have sexually assaulted people. Wasn't fun for Hollywood back then. Anyway, we'll come back to San Francisco. We'll talk about our ratings. This is an incredibly tough one, like you mentioned. Quarterback OC.
My number said this should be 8. I forcefully forced it down to 7.2.
I went 6.5. I looked at my Rams number and I said, am I really going to make this, that much higher than the Rams? It certainly can't be lower than that. I think I have a lot of respect for, both men. Purdy wasn't great when players were missing that, around him last year, but he was still good enough. And
his EPA per play was, man.
Yeah. And when he's good, he's good. When he's great, he's elite. And he was still like the 10th best quarterback. So 6.5, willing to go a little higher.
Purdy's time weighted EPA per play over the last 3 seasons says he should be at or near the top of the quarterback list with the likes of Lamar and Josh.
I gotta weight last year heavier, and that's what drags it down.
He was 0.13 EPA per play last year.
I know, that's what I'm saying. He was a top 10 guy, but
yeah, if you get 0.13 from him this year, your 6.5 is too low.
That's what I don't know. The whole of the year, yes, but like when it was bad, it was like mediocre. When players were missing and he was playing, without everybody around him, he was a middle of the league quarterback for a few weeks, and it was a longer stretch than I would have liked. So
okay, I won't. I think we're splitting hairs, 7.2, 6.5, honestly. Fine. But yeah, I honestly felt like I was a little low here. But I'm doing it on purpose because I'm starting to question my confidence in Shanahan a bit, and I would really like to see him find some off-speed stuff. Hopefully he found some off-speed stuff this offseason, and it's not the same that people have kind of adjusted to. And that remains to be evaluated as we see the Niners play this absolute candy-ass schedule. Skill position group for you?
This was the toughest number out of anything because,
let's qualify. Includes Jennings, includes Pearsall, includes Kittle, includes CMC, includes Guerrero. Does not include Ayuk, right?
Yeah. It's 6. Like, it's just, I don't have a body of work from Jennings enough to be like, I'm very excited about this wide receiver room. I think it has a bunch of upside, but with Ayuk on the bench right now, it's a 6. Christian McCaffrey should be rated higher.
Yeah.
But last year is definitely stuck in my craw. He missed a lot more time than we thought. Kittle is year 7, year 8 now. He takes a lot of hits. He's had some injuries. He's missed time. They got another tight end, which is maybe can take a little off his plate, but you don't want that. Juice Checks is a great additive piece, but he's another one too he's a little long in the tooth. So if you're starting Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, and like Jacob Cowing, it's a minus wide receiver room compared to average for me.
Yep. Okay. So what's your number?
5.75.
All right, I'm 6. So we agree.
Okay.
Offensive line, tricky. Assuming Trent Williams is good to go, assuming Ben Barch is good to go, at least to start the year. I'm at a 6. Where are you?
I went 5.5. Looking at some of the blocking.
Okay, so you found reasons to really hold this offense in the middle of the pack.
Yeah,
sounds like.
Run block win rate, despite some of the guys just in general, if you look at them individually, getting better at run blocking, run block win rate wasn't great. Pass block was middle of the pack, and I know some guys missed time. I did say some nice things about McKivitz and Dominic Pooney, and I think they're on the uptick. It's above average, but not by much for me. And it very much hinges on if we get a healthy left tackle for the balance of the season in age 37 year. I think he's 37.
Feels
that's
like
old
to me. That dude's built different, Andy. We'll see.
When people have those like cringe TikToks and they're like, who is old to you? And they're like, oh, if they're born after 2000, they're old. Or they're born before 2000, they're old. Trent Williams was born in the 80s. 1980s. He's up there, guys.
Yeah, if he's still out there at 42, I'm not going to doubt him.
So it's like this is the 10th best offense.
Yep. All right. I'm at 7th best offense here. They are the best offense on their schedule, though. Unbelievable. I can't believe they got this gift. All right. Defense. I upgraded their run stop relative to last year, based on the additions they made, particularly through the draft.
Last year,
for run stop,
yeah,
I was at a 3.2.
Oh, that's very close to where I was at. Yeah, I upgraded this to a 4.
I'm at a 5. Yeah,
I think they have some. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but
5.1 for me.
Even Bosa is more known as a pass rusher. Just having him healthy, bringing in these rookies. I don't love the interior still, though.
Okay.
The defensive tackle situation probably isn't completely fixed.
Yeah, you're probably right. All right. Oh, I'm prepared to go down on that. But I think 5.1 is reasonable. Pass rush, I'm only at a 4.3. Outside of Nick Bosa, this is not a unit I'm excited about.
I went 5.5. I'm very excited about Nick Bosa. I think he's another one that's like doo. He's not doo. He's due to, if he's healthy. He's healthy. He's one that's like, man, he has to start converting more of these sometime because he's just that good.
His pressure to conversion ratio has always been a little low.
Yeah, and I do like Michael Williams quite a bit. I like the Bryce Huff edition. I think you have 3 good pass rushers, and if you get a bunch out of this rookie, it could turn into be one of the best one of the pass rushes that we see. Okay. It's funny. I have this rated higher than the Rams pass rush.
You know why this pass rush is probably going to look good, Andy? Because they're going to be in a positive game state for 95% of the minutes that they play football this year.
Yeah. And this is the other part. Salah.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess we
saw the reverse Salah last year, Drew.
I will nod. Yep. Salah very realistically could get more out of this group. I also will note that when he did get a lot out of the Niners defense, he had substantially more to work with. He had wave after wave of nasty guys that were fresh to get after it. And now he's got a couple guys.
He's got to coach him up. We saw the reverse Salah. That defense got remarkably worse.
That's very true.
After he was fired. So we'll see.
Coverage.
Sorry, Patrick. Patrick, follow at Deep Dive Pod on Twitter. Tweeted it out. Turn notifications on, buddy. It's your fault. Not mine.
Andy's got a fair to get to. He's got a Andy's got a tilt world to puke on.
Oh, I can't do the rides anymore. I might have a funnel cake. That's about it.
Do not hurt your neck on the zipper.
Oh,
don't do it. You're too old.
You know what's awful nice? They have live curling demonstrations because it's hot out. You go in there and watch curling cool off. I love
you and Ken Pomeroy.
I'm watching some curling.
Scouting out the future curling Olympians of America.
Minnesota has a strong curling community. What
Absolutely.
is your coverage, Craig?
I'm going to be at curling in the Olympics in February.
Oh, remember that? I looked at that. I'm going to try
that?
to. No, I'm going to try to go out to Sioux Falls for
see the qualifiers.
See the qualifiers.
Absolutely,
I talked to my wife about that.
Yeah. All right. The coverage is bad. I'm at a 3.3 here, and I feel like I maybe am a little high. I do not like this group really, and I'm nervous that your CB1 potentially is Diamondor Lenoir, if you're doing the French pronunciation. Where are you at for coverage?
3.75.
Okay. So you're rosier than I am on the defense across the board. You're cooler on the offense than I am across the board. That's fascinating. So you're going to be betting Niners unders, and I'm going to be betting Niners overs, and we're going to have that fun little conversation every week. It sounds like
they liked Trey Brown enough, I guess, to bring him in. They drafted some secondary pieces. I'm keen enough on the safety group to bring it up a little, but yeah, between Renardo Green, Diamondor Lenoir, and Trey Brown, not a strong corner group, not a lot of depth there either. Upside maybe, but you got to hope this pass rush works out because the secondary is a work in progress.
Okay. I'm 22nd best defense. Sounds like you're middle of the pack.
Yeah.
What's your defensive rating or ranking?
I changed a bunch of other team stuff. It doesn't matter right now. Honestly, okay. Even my offensive number, like I have a bunch of blanks in a bunch.
Are you above or below the Rams?
It is close, a little behind them.
And definitely below the Seahawks.
Yes.
And above the Cardinals?
The Seahawks are my best defense in the division.
Okay.
The Rams and Niners are very close to each other for the best offense.
Okay. Very cool. Coaching.
In fact, it's like a dead heat. Rams and Niners, yeah. Their offensive rankings are basically the same.
Okay. Intangibles.
We gave McVay a 5. And I think you were lower. What are you going to give?
4.
I went 6.5 just to build in more Salah.
Okay.
I didn't know that I could just say I think these players are going to be better, so I'm going to make it higher than I think I should. And a lot of it is because of Salah. So I built it in here. This is a Salah number.
I dig.
Shanny, you're already giving him a bump for OC number, so that's fine. But Shanny's an above average coach. Salah's a very good defensive coordinator.
I think you're getting all of the coaching, the scheme, and the OC QB number, and I think you're getting some suspect decision making in the intangible number.
Yeah, that's where I'm building in some Salah here.
Okay. Who wins the kicking competition between Jake Moody and Greg the Leg Joseph, Andy?
Does it matter?
Probably. I think like you kind of hit the wall last year, right?
I still think it might be Moody.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
You think this was a faux comp?
No, I think it's a comp. You asked me who I thought wins it.
Oh, okay. You think he's good enough to win it?
Someone has to win it.
Moody was 6 of 11 for 40 yarders last year, 4 of 9 for 50 yarders last year. He is basically taking the long field goal out of your week. Can call this with confidence to go for it.
Greg Joseph has been a little inconsistent here. Was he on the Jets too? Did they just take the whole Jets kicking team?
Yes.
Because they got Morstead there. That was the Jets punter last year. Is this the entire Jets special teams? Did Salah say?
My guys were good. Bring him. Greg the Leg was the Jets kicker last year.
Cool. When he says you're cool, he's pointing.
You're coming with me. Fuck you. I'm out. Yeah.
Yeah. And he points at the special teams. So I believe the long snappers from Houston. They have a new long snapper too. I can't give this a good rating because of
Greg the Leg he only kicked one game last year, and in that game he only attempted a 20-yard field goal and 3 extra points.
But it was good, wasn't it?
It did go through the uprights, yes.
Jacob Cowing, Ricky Purcell, Garendo, and Patrick Taylor are in the mix for returns. This is low. This was a bad special teams unit last year. It's one of the worst special teams units last year as a whole.
So what is your number?
Where are we? I give it a 3.
Super quick sidebar.
Yes.
Greg the Leg actually kicked for 3 teams last year.
Jesus
Can you name them?
Was one of them the Niners?
Nope.
I was gonna say, didn't the Niners have like 3 different kickers last year anyway?
They might have, yeah.
The Giants.
Yes.
Yeah. The Giants, the Jets, and God, who else had injuries? Was it Houston?
Washington.
Sam, where were you there? He must have moved on with. He must have moved on with his day.
Leg. Yeah. The Niners had kicks made by 4 kickers last year, including the punter. He made a field goal for them and an extra point. How about that? Oh no, just a field goal. My bad. Mitch Wisnowski kicked a 20-yard field goal for them last year. They also had Matthew Wright, Mr. Wright out there, Anders Carlson, but 14 games from Jake Moody ultimately. So maybe he was an injury last year and he's better.
Who was that running back for, what was it, Houston, who kicked an extra point or something? Or Dare Ogaba?
Was that last year or 2 years ago? I remember
that might have been 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, just find a USFL kicker.
That was the game that the Texans did not. They kneeled on the score that the game landed 2 when it was a 2.5 point spread
because their kicker got
hurt and they didn't want to give back a blocked kick return that would have tied the game, so they kneeled it and they won by 2. That remains one of the most amazing games from a covering standpoint that I can remember.
It's crazy. Like you never remember the spots where they went for 2 because the kicker was hurt and they covered a 7.5 when the field goal or the extra point would have made it 7. Those for some reason are out of your mind, but I can remember the Minnesota Miracle, the Minneapolis Miracle.
Yeah.
That game, depending what number you got, you lost by the hook because they never kicked the extra point on that touchdown. They made him come out and I think they just kneeled it out or something as well. They didn't kick that extra point. And I had a buddy just like falling to the floor at the bar. He's like, they're not going to kick, are they? So he needed the 1 more point to cover the hook. Which amazing. Honestly, at that point, buddy, you should be happy that you even had a chance.
Yeah. All right. My number for the Niners in totality is a 1.84. They are my 12th rated team. And I think there is a world where they are the 12th rated team on the eve of the playoffs, but they are the Super Bowl favorite because they are the 1 seed and the Super Bowl is in San Francisco. And you are going to have a murderer's row in the AFC where only 1 team can emerge. And so I think that there is a very, very real world where this is a team that is fairly rated +3, 10th to 12th best team in the league. Market may be treating them like a +6. Who the hell knows? But we know the reality. And so I think you almost have to just take a Super Bowl bet on them because it's a big number and it's going to get shorter.
Fine.
Am I out of bounds?
No, I think it's a long play. Like it accrues value. It's like you said, if you can play it at Kalshi or a book that has a cash out, or if you play 2 of them, make 2 bets and it has a cash out, and you can free roll it in the playoffs if it's a team that you think you might believe in them later. I don't think I'm going to believe in them later, but with this schedule and this team being just above average enough to win 10 to 13 games in this schedule, even with a very incomplete roster, essentially it's the Lions. I have them as a 1.87. I have the Lions as a 1.78. The Rams. Like, I don't know if I did a Stafford thing there or what, but the Rams and the Niners, they're rated very similarly, but the expected wins are quite different based on the schedule.
Does this feel like an alt wins in both directions team? Over 11.5 is +216. Under 9.5 is +177. Those two things have an equal likelihood of hitting.
What would be the most catastrophic injury outside of just, throw Purdy out, because that's for every team it is the quarterback. Also, who's the backup quarterback? Mac Jones. I could do worse.
The most catastrophic injury, single injury, besides Purdy, is probably Fred
Williams?
Warner. It's probably Warner.
God. Warner missing would hurt everything. Your pass rush
Yeah.
gets worse. Your run stop gets worse.
Your defense is now just maybe 31st best.
Your coverage gets so much worse.
Yeah. All of a sudden, all these teams that we're laughing about are scoring 30 points on you.
Yeah. That's a good call. Well, it's Warner, then Williams.
Then Warner.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is a Jenga, and there's so many single blocks.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them that really screw this team over.
The other thing that I think could ultimately doom them is they might just lose every divisional game. Like, Seahawks defense is good, really good even. Cardinals, plucky. Rams, truck, right? Like, there's a world where they're 0-6 in the West. And then they win every other game because they're all fucking winnable. But yeah, that would crack me up.
11 and 6 would be very funny.
0-6 in division and winning the West. Do you think that's ever happened before? A team has won their division without a single? This never happened, right?
There's 0% chance.
What kind of price do you think I could get somebody to give me on that? 50 to 1?
I'd
100?
Honestly, if I'm them, I would say I'd give you 200. I'm not going
200, you think?
It's so unlikely just to go 0-6.
A 0.5% chance that they lose every game in division but still win the West.
I mean, just think about the likelihood of going 0-6 in those games. That's like a 4% kind of thing.
Let me tell you exactly what it would be. Damn it, I closed my sheet. Never mind. We'll circle back on this.
We'll circle back. That's an interesting math problem.
Okay.
Might have to make plus EV, because that guy would spend like 2 hours on it.
I would love to know.
He would run all kinds of stuff.
Like, one of the problems with that is that you're giving 2 wins to each of your divisional foes. Then you're hoping you're now, like, the dominoes do have to fall where none of them get to 11 wins. They all have to finish.
Because you wouldn't have much. You wouldn't have much for tiebreakers.
You got nothing. You don't have any tiebreakers.
You know what's funny though?
Yeah.
If there's like a 3-way tie, is division still the first tiebreaker, or does it turn into something else? I don't know. Three-way ties get weird. It's like, hey, if this was a 2-way tie, this team wins, and if it's a 3-way tie,
I'm guessing if you're 0-6 in division, you have lost every conceivable tiebreaker.
Yeah. Well, your NFC record at best is a losing record at that point.
All right. Can we close with one final note?
Yes. You can do whatever we want.
Well, I'm just saying, pull the ripcord on the futures here. Do you have a prediction as I've already bet this. All right. Okay. I've already bet them to win the Super Bowl. I'll tell you what price I got. I got 1808. 18 to 1 for these guys to win the Super Bowl. I'm expecting that on the eve of the playoffs, this is like 4-ish. Do you think I will have the cojones to bail on this, or do you think I'm gonna convince myself that they can actually win and ride this to the finish line?
I will be. This is like an AA sponsor. I'm the guy who's there to keep you from slipping and relapsing. I will be here for you to be like, Drew.
Yeah.
We've watched Eagles games. We've watched Lions games. We've watched Commanders, Vikings, Rams, Packers, whoever else is in the play. Like, look at your numbers. Look into your heart. You have to bail on this.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you want, go take a quarter stake and bet it again, and be like, I'll ride that one. Have a smaller one that you want to ride.
Patrick brings up 1808 is the most bookmaker price ever. The current price of bookmaker, 1707.
Yeah. I know. It's like when you can tell on my golf when it's like I'm bouncing back between BetOnline and bookmaker. It's like 30 to 1, 3301, 5786.
Yeah.
The golf ones are the best.
It is crazy that Hulk Hogan died, by the way. I was going to pitch Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage as our Halloween costumes. Give that some thought. You want to be Hulk?
I'll shave my head.
I was thinking more like find the wig. I want to be like 80s Hulk, 80s Macho Man and Hulk.
I had a buddy do that on a bet where he shaved the top of his head but left the side like the horseshoe pattern balding. It was rough. Like, because when it grows back in, it looks pretty fucking bad. That's what happens. That's what happens when you drink.
Okay. All right. So the safe word for you to get me to eject on the Niners will be Hulkster. Diaper pooper. Diaper pooper.
Yeah, you want to trust?
Yeah,
I seriously think you just need to take another swing at this. Smaller stakes, have something to ride, and be like, I'm riding the small one. Okay. I mean, the FOMO will be killing you if the big one wins. But it's the same as anything. You know, we talk about that when I said I'm going to do millions, but not Survivor. If you almost can't do another Survivor then, because if you win a small Survivor,
you're gonna be like, I should have done another.
Where's my 14 million? I won $5,000. Oh, good. I'm walking into a lake.
Cool.
I want to use this money to weight me down. All right, I got an 11:15. I got to run, guys. We'll catch you. Let's go Emiliano Grillo. Let's go Kevin Roy. Let's go Rico Hui. The most popular bet golfer this week is 7 over through 10 holes.
Best of luck next week.
Yeah.